Now here's the modern technology, today's world. You got to take the plug out of the bottom of that housing, and drain the oil out through a tube. Here's that tube. There you go. Yeah, got to drain it out. And then you got to take the housing off and then change the filter. Just because it's cheaper to make a paper filter, I guess. And right here is exactly the same technology back in 1960. And it goes way back further than that. But that's what this happens to be. Yep. You know, I'm not a mechanic, and I'm not a car builder. I'm just an old redneck having a good time banging around on this rusty old iron. So buckle up and hang on. Let's see what's going to happen next around here.
And we're going to shoot over and pick up old Waylon Wire over there. He does some cool stuff.
Hey, welcome to Rat Rodding. My name's Waylon Wire, and don't ever do what we do here on this channel. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to Waylon Wire's Old Iron. You know, Power Tour is coming up in just a little over a month. So, well, actually, I'll be leaving here in a little less than a month. So, if you're anywhere near Indianapolis, Indiana, Joliet, Illinois, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Monroe, Michigan, or Norwalk, Ohio, sure would like to shake your hand. I know some of you guys have been around a long time, and I'd like to meet you. I hope that works out for some of you. Anyway, you know, there will always be old iron on this channel, because that's what we're all about, ain't it? But I got something a little bit different today. Noah helped me with a project, and things got a little dicey. Let's take a look. Well, what a mess. What a mess. Who destroyed my shop? Boy, if I get my hands on that guy, tell you what. Anyway, I got time. I'm going to clean this up. And what I'm going to try and do today is get some, get my panel, my other door panel on. I ran out of adhesive and I got some more. So I'm going to try and get this on, put on this door. And that shouldn't take too long. And boy, this thing's turned out to be a sweet little truck. I am so happy with it. And Warren, don't even start. He said, I know what's going to happen. You're going to fall in love with that truck. No, I can't. Well, anyway, this is the first Dodge truck like this I've ever seen in my life. It wasn't rusted out in the rockers. I mean, there's some surface rust there, but it's not too bad. And I just never saw that before. Every one of them, they're always rusted out. So anyway, yeah, I got to get this panel on. And then, I'm going to try and get some weather stripping put in. This is pretty sad. And I think when I do, it's going to get rid of that little bit of wiggle right there. And that should make it pretty nice. So, all right, I'm going to get this place cleaned up a little bit here so I can get something done. Don't fall in love with it, Waylon. Don't do it. Noah was up here when he was helping me take all the stuff out of the bed. I was looking it over and rubbing my hand down the side of the bed, talking about it. He said, stop, just stop. You're gonna fall in love with it. Well, I got part of the weather shipping in. I didn't get it all in because I'm going to a cruise in tonight downtown, and it's our big apple blossom weekend here, big festival this weekend. So I'm going to go down and check out some cars this evening, and I didn't get it all done, but it did exactly what I hoped it would do, and that is take all that slack out of that door. That's beautiful. I'm happy with it. Got a little weight reduction going on back here. That's no big deal. We get better gas mileage. Well, as you know, there was an issue with this thing. It wasn't in the last video, but anyway, Noah and I had taken it for a drive and thought we'd run out of gas. And we came and got some more gas and put in it. It turns out it was full of gas. So as Noah was driving it home, it died again. And I decided at that point there was probably a plugged fuel line. But after it sat for a while, it would run. And I was going into a little cruise-in thing in town yesterday, and I just didn't get around into blowing that line out. I thought I would blow the line back and maybe discharge dislodge any debris that might be plugging the line where it comes out of the tank. But I don't think that's the issue. Anyway, I didn't make it to the event. I had to get a ride and come up and get this air tank, and then I did pull the line off and blow it back, and of course it ran fine, and got to the little cruise in and everything, and then on my way home it plugged up again where I thought it was plugging up. So I blew it out again right down the road just before I got to my driveway. I almost made it home, but not quite. So anyway, as I was messing with it last night down there on the road, I went and popped the gas cap and it went pew. So I think what's going on is I don't think the line's plugged. I think just the cap is not venting. So I took it off and messed with it a little bit, tinkered around with it, and got it so you can blow through it. And yeah, I think that might be the issue. But still, that gas is rotten. It had a lot of gas in it, so it means it had a lot of bad gas in it. And we put, I don't know how much we put in it, but we put 4 or 5 gallons, but not enough to dilute all that bad gas. But I've driven it a while now, so I think I'm going to go into town and gas this thing up and see how it does. And I got my little air tank there with me. If I have to stop and blow that line out, I will, but I don't think that's it. I'm going to see if this is, if this gas cap wasn't the issue. I'm pretty sure I'm onto something. This thing runs so good. Yeah, I know those lifters, those tappets rattle a little bit, and they're supposed to. You know, they're solid lifters, and I'd rather have them too loose than too tight. But I wonder what's going on with that. Oh, there it goes. Settled down. It's kind of bouncing a little bit at first, but I mean, it's charging. Obviously, starts right up, charging the battery. So let's go for a little ride. Let's run it into town. Gas gauge does not work. That's something I'm going to work on. I was able to fix that on the Blue Diamond. I don't remember if I put a new one in or just took the old one out and got it freed up and working. But it's not too hard to get to. It's right behind the seat here. Let's go for a little drive. See, well, we'll see what happens. gas, but I get a little discount here, and I don't trust this thing enough to go across the bridge. Guy pulling out there pulled out in front of a car on the other side of me. Big dummy. Anyway, yeah, I don't trust this thing enough to take it across the bridge, because man, that's the last place you want to have this thing puke out. So I'm gonna put some good gas in this thing and see what happens. Well, I guess the gas cap was not the issue. Here we are. All right, let's get this thing going. There we go. That ought to get me home. We'll see, won't we? Well, let's hop in this fine automobile and run down and retrieve the SD card out of the game cam. Alright, we'll take a look at that a little bit later, but I think I'll bring this thing in the shop, this Doge 100. I expect there's probably a sock on the end of that pickup tube. It goes into the gas tank, wouldn't you reckon? And apparently it's plugging up, or something's going on with it, collapsing or whatever. I don't know if I'll get to that today or not. I got some shocks to put on this thing too, but it's coming along, you know, little by little. We'll get there. Well, let's investigate this pickup tube a little bit. See if we can figure out what's plugging this thing up. I was so disappointed. I really thought I was onto something with that gas cap. I was wrong. It went So oh, my favorite hose clamps. Let me get the vacuum and suck that out a little bit. Oh, that wasn't so horrible, I guess. I'm afraid what's going to come out of here is going to be horrible. Gee, I wonder why the gas gauge don't work. And the sock is gone. I think I put a new one of these in the Blue Diamond. Oh, it could work. Oh, look at here. Oh boy. You know, I got one of these. I sure do. Might be all wrong with it. Clean it up. First thing I'm gonna do is blow back through it and see how plugged up it is. Okay. Well, I fear the worst because this is clear. It's not plugged up. It's supposed to have a little screen on the bottom of that. And I took it loose here at the fuel pump like I did the other night, and when I had to blow it out, but it drained out freely out of this line. So I fear the worst. I fear the worst is that there's a whole bunch of crud in the bottom of that tank that this is picking up right here, plugging up. Oh boy. But just for giggles, I'm going to blow this line back again right there. I want to set you guys up in here and have you watch it for me. And you tell me a whole bunch of stuff comes flying out of that line, but boy, that's just wishful thinking. Okay, I think y'all can see that. You can watch it for me, but I don't think there's anything going to come out of there. Well, what'd you see? Anything come out of there? So I got a new one on its way, but I fear the worst, and the worst is I have to take this tank out. But you know what? That doesn't look too bad. There's a few bolts across the top here. Yeah, that don't look too bad. 2 bolts in the top. That's all I see. Probably 2 in the bottom, and there's a filler neck here, and a couple bolts on the bottom. So I'll take that thing out, and I don't know, I need to save the gas. I just put some gas in it, but it's gonna be hard to do. Anyway, I got a new sending unit ordered, 40 bucks, coming all the way from New Jersey. Maybe one lonely farmer will bring it to me. All right, although I got one coming, just for giggles, I cut about 4 inches off of that, and it may still plug up, but I want to see if I could just putt around here in it until my new one comes in. You know, just putt, nothing serious. slick them good to put on that. Okay, there we go. There it went. All right. Not gonna work, but I'll hook it up just so it don't get away and hide from me later on. All right. I need to go into town, get a cartridge for my printer, go to my son's house for dinner. So I'm gonna take this thing and see if it'll get me to town and back this time. The coming back part, that's the iffy part. But I'm gonna take my little air tank with me in case I have to blow that back, but it might not pick up as much crud since it's not right down on the bottom. Well, this thing is so much fun to drive. I started driving into town and then I had a thought pattern. My thought pattern is, before I drive this thing, I really should put a filter. I'll put a filter right at the top of that tank so I'm not sucking a whole bunch of stuff into the fuel pump. What do you think? What do you think about that? Does that sound like the right thing to do? Maybe. Well, I have a real mess out here. I've enlisted Noah's help. We hooked that trailer onto the tractor, and this big willow has dropped limbs. We had a windstorm up here. I'm so far behind because of the grafting thing. I usually have the waterfall running by now. So all of that fell. It's all got to come out of there. All this, all that up there. I see a pine tree fell over there. I wish I'd have never planted that tree. It's close to the house, but you know, it looked like it was far away when it was little. Okay, we got to do something. Not sure what we're going to do. We're going to try and cut it up small enough pieces, maybe to go in that trailer. Take it out to the burn pile out the end of the yard. I don't know. Let's see what happens. trailer and shove it back. Well, Noah, what do you think about that?
I think that was some good driving is what I think that was.
Boy, it's close, that edge. But I don't care if the trailer is close to the edge. I didn't want my tractor that close to the edge.
Yeah, right? Well, the tractor will actually tip.
Well, is it full? Not
No.
quite, huh?
I think what we need to do is,
Put some heavy pieces in there. What do you think?
yeah, well, that also wedge some pieces in here, vertical like this.
Oh, okay.
Act
Make
as
some
bed
side
frame.
racks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, as you can see here, I'm way up on the bank with the tractor, and it's got a pretty good tilt to it. She's a leaning pretty good.
We'll need this for the autopsy report.
No kidding.
that worked really well, and I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. This trailer is back heavy.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't sit on the deal over there. And
What happened to the tailgate? We just been dragging it all the time? It don't reach all the way to the ground?
no, it doesn't reach all the way.
Okay. As long as it didn't knock it off.
No.
Not yet.
There's a few times where it scraped.
Yeah.
But
I haven't knocked it off yet. Well, I've been turning my irrigation water in. That's not a bad view, is it? Well, let's snip a little piece out of that hose and see if we can put a filter in there. What do you say? You don't too? Well, that did pretty good. Oh, it's run down my arm into my pit. Well, I don't have no fuel running out. I guess it wouldn't till the fuel pump starts sucking on it. You know, those new shocks didn't come with any hardware. They usually come with these washers. Huh. That's odd, ain't it? Odd if not bizarre. Oh well, we'll use the hardware. Probably some cheap Chinese shocks. It's alright. Well, this is kind of odd how they put this together, but you gotta take the bolt out to get the shock off, because there's not room to slide it off there. Now weird. You can't get a socket on there. Let's pull the alternator off. I don't want to do that. Do you? Nah. Just take our time. Be all right. I had to beat that other one with a hammer to get it out of there. See how this one goes. Can't get to it, hit it with a hammer. So as you all know, heat is your friend. Hit it left-handed. Can you tap on this? I can't hit it with my left hand. Yeah, well, by tap I mean beat the daylights out of it. Thank you. That's a way to wire tap, okay? Kind of like my tack welds. 25 foot-pounds. Well, he's still in there. Well, I guess it's, no, there it is. It's on there. Thought I forgot, but it's on there. Seems like I forgot one of them though, somewhere. Seems like I got an extra here.
What's the other bolt at or not?
I bet this thing would benefit greatly from a grease job.
Yeah, a little bit.
30 pounds. Perfect. Well, tomorrow I will take that thing for a little cruise, see how far I get. But I've had enough for today. I'm going to shut her down. All right, that'll do it for another one. As always, I sure do appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my little old video. It means a lot to me. We'll see you back here on Whalen Wires Old Iron real soon. And in the meantime, you know I sure do appreciate you. Yep, sure do.